So this is how I started my first business. My first ever business. And don't forget to like, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, AskDaddy. Like, subscribe, share with all your friends. Share with your mom, all that good stuff. Okay. Hit that subscribe button again. Right. Yeah, it's right there. It's right there. It's right there. Just smash it right there. Okay. So this is how I started my first business. My first business was in college when I was playing football at Fresno State. I mounted my own TV, and then I needed some extra money, and people were hitting me up and like, "Hey, can you mount my TV for me?" And so I saw a need in the market, and I didn't think of it that way. Like I wasn't selling candy as a kid. I wasn't doing any of that shit. I was fighting with swords and playing video games. Like in no way, shape, or form as a child was I ever concerned about making money. Like my parents were never poor by any ways. Like we were like middle class country. Both my parents were entrepreneurs. And so it's not like there was at the beginning, like we didn't have tons of money. And looking back, I can tell then when both my parents' companies started to take off, like we got fruit roll-ups, like that's how I determined things. Like we had actual like snacks. I was like, fuck yeah. But as growing up, like there was no hint of entrepreneurship bone in my body whatsoever until I got to Fresno State and I mounted my TV, and none of the other dudes over there knew how to use tools. And I grew up country as fuck with my dad being really handy and having a wood shop in the basement. So I would go in and I'd mount people's TVs for them. And that would make me like a couple of $100 a month extra. And so that was my first ever business. And that, obviously at the time I didn't think of it as a business, but it was a way for me to make extra money when we had a set amount of income that we had that we could not make anymore. And I use this example as a college football player. I couldn't go do more footwork and make more money. It did not work out that way. I had to work hard and then hope over time that hard work would pay off with me getting signed to the NFL, and it didn't. My second business was a home inspection business, and this one actually never made me any revenue. I did one mock inspection, and I went into and this is after I come home from Seattle. I did one mock inspection, and I went through the crawl space in the rental that I was staying at, and I went halfway into there with my knee pads and elbow pads, and I said, I'm never fucking doing this again. This is awful. And that was my second business. And then I worked for someone else for a little while, and then I left and went on my own and started my third business, and it was wholesaling. And then from there, with our wholesaling business, we had a need as far as virtual assistants go, and so we brought everything internally, and then people, again, started coming to me, and I was like, oh, I see a market here. So I started, I guess, my fourth business, and then we have our social media company to where people came to us and were coming to us for help with social, and so I started my fifth business, and then people were coming to us, and they needed help with actual, like, wholesaling, investing, and, like, mentorship, and so we started another business, and then we have one more in the works right now. And so that if you are looking to start a business, number one, I would look for, so I listen to a lot of these like tech podcasts, and they talk a lot about like product market fit, to where generally if I just see a need in a market, that is the easiest way to go. And with the new one we're starting right now, it'll be a branch off from what we're already currently doing, but we know that there's a massive market for it, and they have consistently came to us asking for help in this way. And we see it being an 8-figure opportunity. And so now, as you get better at business, you're going to be able to evaluate, is the opportunity worth it, right? You're going to go and you're going to do a lot of shit, but what are you working for? Like, what are you truly working for? And I can use this example to where I talked to my video guy because he was starting his business, and he was like, hey, and he was doing podcasts. But then I looked at it as far as scale, and it's like, hey, I don't think the podcasts are truly scalable if you're only going to do them in the Central Valley. We could probably find the TAM, like the total addressable market or whatever, of this area, and we know the amount of people who are looking to do a podcast. Do I think this is going to be $100 million business? No. Do I still think this is going to be a business? Yes. But now I can look at things through that lens and disqualify and qualify opportunities that come my way or different ideas that I have. And by, okay, so what is the TAM of this? how scalable is it? How labor intensive is it? How much overhead is there going to be, and how much of a need is there? And then how much competition is there, and is the competition any good? And then and then I have all those different data points I can go off of, and I can honestly evaluate it, and I can put the numbers in the calculator of see like, okay, if we take 1% market share in this industry, what does that look like? Like how big is that like overall revenue and projected off of just the type of structure that we're running this business with, and most of my businesses are service-based businesses. What does that net profit look like over time when we hit the scale of like the 1%? And that way I can be like, hey, you know what? That looks really, really exciting. Let's pursue that. Or you know what? Like honestly, this opportunity is not even worth my time. So taking it all the way back again, if you're going to start a business, see what the market needs. And generally, people always fucking complain about shit all the time. Find something that everybody around you is complaining about and start a business. And make sure that people can pay for it. That's the next thing. So I'd say the biggest problem with my TV mounting business was that I was selling to my team. So there was the total TAM, right? If there's 100 people on there, I could charge everybody $100. That'd be a $10,000 opportunity over time if I mounted every single person on my football team's TV. Like right now, obviously, I would not do that. But if you're in college and you see the opportunity there, take it. I would strongly suggest you consider other opportunities that have bigger, like that are just flat out bigger. But now I can look at things that way. But that was my first business, is I was mounting TVs for my other teammates for $100 a pop. And they only made $1,800 a month. So could they truly afford me? In all reality, no. I only made like a couple $100 a month for a while, and then I just quit doing it. I don't know why I quit doing it. But take that in consideration. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit all those buttons. If you're listening on YouTube, if you're listening to this on the podcast app, go give us a 5-star review. If this brought you any value, please share it if you're seeing it on Instagram or anything else. And share it with your family, friends. That's the fee we have, just like Andy Frisella. But I'm going to actually pay for ads, and I'm going to ask you to share it so we can grow more. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.